So you have a game project that you want to make and you start working with the tool, so creating some features on Godot Engine, drawing some sprites on Krita or Inkscape or whatever software you use, creating some music, creating some sound effects, and before you notice, you got lost. Instead of creating the actual project, the actual game, you got lost implementing some stuff, you create a particle system, you create some dialogues, and you didn't finish the game in that line. So you lost track of all your deliverables, and the project is just a mess. So you just flip the table and say, no, I don't want to make this because I won't deliver it on time, especially if you are working in a game jam. So we have the GMTK game jam on the verge now, so it's going to start next week. And on the last week, so on the past week, I was working on my game project. So I had a local event to attend to, and I decided that I would make a demo. But I also was working on my Godot Adventure Essentials course, so I was balancing these both projects, and I made it. So I finished everything on time. And during a live stream where I was developing the actual demo for the event, someone asked, how do you finish these things? How can you manage your time? How do you manage your project? So in this video, we are going to learn how do I manage my project. So I have here my company dashboard on Notion, and I have here the operations. Everything is in Brazilian Portuguese here, but the operations is majorly in English. So we have here the current projects that I'm finished, and this was that I'm doing, and this was the project that we were talking about. So this is in Brazilian Portuguese, but I'm going to translate it just for you guys so you understand what this project is all about. So English. And this is the project proposal. This is for internal management. So the guys from this event didn't ask for this specific, but I decided that I had to make a project proposal so I understand what is the kind of deliverable that I want to make. So by the end of this video, you are going to learn how can you make a project proposition, how you can create some tasks, the sub-projects that you need to create in order to deliver your major project, and how can you manage them in a level of the processes, the systems, and the tasks that you need to perform in order to finish your project. So let's get back here. So this is my operations board, and you can see that I have my projects tab, which is not like that. So okay. So it's supposed to be a toggle tab, but for some reason it's not. So I have my projects tab here. So I currently finishing up the Godot Adventure Essentials. By the way, I just released a free class on my Godot Adventure Essentials. So let's open the Godot Adventure Essentials course here. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can try this out. So this is one of the classes from the course itself. So this is a complete experience from one of the classes of the course. You can duplicate it as a Notion template, so you can duplicate it to your Notion profile, and you can make some you can add some notes below here and upload your project as well. So try this out, and if you click on this button, you're going to be redirected to the landing page. So if you have any questions regarding the course, you can answer them with this landing page. So down here, I have a frequent asked questions section. And if none of these questions answer your personal question, you can also get in touch with me, join the Lunout Discord or the Lunout Telegram, and get in touch with me so I can help you solve your questions. But that's it, let's get back to the video. I have the projects. I also have the tasks, I have the process, and the resources. So something that we need to understand is that what is a project? A project is the promise of a deliverable under certain conditions. Typically, these conditions involve time, so a time frame, a deadline, and some requirements for acceptance of the deliverable. I like to call this deliverable an artifact, something that you crafted. And the idea is that there are going to be some requisites, the requirements for this deliverable. So let's say if you want to make a project about a game, what does this game is about? What does it have? What does it have? It have 20 quests, it have 5 bosses, it has some 6 characters, it has 5 background music, 11 levels, so on and so forth. So I have to describe all the requirements of acceptance for this project. And by doing so, you are going to create some sub-projects. So if you get back here, my major deliverable was this Milkyway Mailing Inc. demo right here. But to deliver this demo, so notice that this is not a complete game. I just have the project of making a demo for this special, for this specific event. And to deliver that, if you get back here, let me translate it again so you guys can follow up with me. Translate to English. Okay. So the idea is that I wanted to run for the best narrative and for the best game design. And to do that, I created this story where the player starts with the little note saying something and so on and so forth. So I'm not going into details here, but this is a story with some dialogues. And on the side here, on the right of this content, I added some comments saying, this is all part of the Janitor Rescue quest line, which is a sub-project. So I highlighted all the content that is part of another specific project. So I broke down this huge project, this demo, into smaller projects, each one of them with their own deadline and requirements. And one of the things that, if we get back here, I have some tasks which are the requirements of the deliverable. So I have the dialogues. Let me translate it again. So I have to create the dialogues, the missions, so the quests, and some interface elements as well. And by doing so, I create some tasks, right? So if I get here on my tasks view, I have all of these tasks. Let me filter by this specific project, so the Bring Demo project. I still have some tasks to deliver. Let me filter out the not completed filter, so I don't want this filter. So you can see that I have all these tasks accomplished. Some of them are not finished because they are not, actually this one is finished, so complete this. Some of them are not a priority. So one of the things that you need to understand to manage your projects is that some tasks are not important as you think, and some of them are very important. Some of them are high priority and some of them are low priority. So let me tell you a story about one of my exes that will illustrate how you can prioritize things. She woke up one day and she asked me, hey honey, I need the lunch to be I need to lunch before 1 p.m. Can you make the lunch around noon? And I say, yes, but before I do that, since I'm going to be working on my office before 11 a.m., I need you to clean up the kitchen and get everything ready so that I can basically just go directly into cooking mode, so I can make this very quick, so I can cook the lunch very quickly. And she said, okay, I'm going to do that. Don't trust me, bro. I'm going to finish this up. And I say, okay, I trust her. So I started working. I was working for GD Quest back then. No, I was writing my Platform Essentials cookbook back then. And I was writing stuff, so I finished up on 11 a.m. And when I went to the kitchen, she mopped the floor. She stored some groceries that we purchased on the day before. She cleaned up the balcony and so everything. She cleaned up the kitchen very well. Everything was sparkling, with one exception. She didn't wash up the pans and the dishes. And I was like, hey, I thank you so much for having the kitchen very cleaned up. Everything's looking great, but I need the pans and the dishes to be clean in order to cook the lunch. Because I can cook the lunch with a dirty floor. I can cook the lunch with the dirty balcony, with the groceries not stored, so with the groceries over the table. But I cannot cook the lunch without the pans cleaned and the dishes washed. So thank you so much, but I will have to wash this stuff, and the lunch will not be made by noon. So sorry, you will be you will not get there by the time that you promised. But everything went well. But the major thing that I want you guys to understand is that there are some tasks that are essential to deliver some project. So for instance, I was working on this specific project where I have to create this mission right here. So this Ares fight. It's a fight against a boss. And in this specific fight, after you defeated Ares, he's going to trigger a dialogue line asking you to deliver a letter to Taurus, another boss. And a friend of mine came here into my office, and when he tested out the game, the battle finished, but no dialogue was triggered, and the Ares didn't even trigger the defeated animation. And what does a battle is about? Well, you have two or more entities, so two or more fighters, and one of them will defeat the other. So the fight starts with them confronting each other, and it ends once one of them defeat the other. So did I completed this task of making a fight against this boss? No, because the boss never get the defeated condition triggered. So I stopped everything that I was making, and I was like, okay, I have to trigger the defeated condition. It has to trigger the defeated animation, the defeated dialogue. It has to trigger the letter, the quest asking the player to deliver the letter. But other stuff were not necessary. So if we get back here, you can see that these two tasks didn't got made because they are very low priority. So one of them is create the janitor portrait, which is basically the face of this janitor character, and the portrait of the Black Star Express workers. So Black Star Express is the competitor company of the game, so it's kind of like the player's enemies. But the fight against the Black Star company was implemented. The whole dialogue, the whole janitor rescue questline was implemented. So this is not necessary to make this deliverable. I don't need to display the character portrait in order to start and complete this quest. Everything were already implemented. So I decided, hey, this is not necessary. The requirement for this deliverable is not having a portrait, at least not back then. So I'm not gonna make it. If I have time for making this thing, I can do it, but was not the case. So it was very good that I didn't make that, because I finished up the demo right on time. So I had this event, I had to attend to this event at 3 p.m. and I finished up at 4 p.m. and I finished everything. I finished the demo by 3:47 p.m. So it was very, very close to the deadline. And well, I'm glad that I didn't prioritize this task, because otherwise I would spend half an hour making this portrait and animating it, and this will not progress me towards the delivery of this specific project here. So this is something that you guys need to understand. Once you have some tasks, you have to prioritize them. And one good way to prioritize stuff is, can I deliver this project without that? If you can, then it's not a priority. You can skip that, you can leave it if you have time to do it. So let's say you have to create a battle against a boss. Do I need to create these particles for this boss, for this battle to be implemented? Probably not, unless this particle is all, unless this battle is all about this particle system. You don't need the particles to be implemented, right? So you can deal damage to the boss, you can defeat the boss, and the particles make no difference there. Well, it will improve the quality of the deliverable, but they are not a requirement. On the other hand, can you deliver this battle without a hit and hurt box? system? Probably not. How will you deal damage to the boss and defeat the boss and have a battle without a hit box system? By the way, if you want to know how you can make a hit and hurt box system, I will recommend you to watch this video because there I explain my hit and hurt box system, so my combat system. So this is something that you need to understand. Not every task is important. Not every task is necessary. They can improve the quality of your deliverable, of your artifact, but sometimes you have to prioritize stuff and some stuff are not necessary. If you have another person working with you, you can delegate that if it is actually important, and if you have no other way, no other thing to do, that you can delegate to this person to make some parallel tasks and deliver the project on time. And if this person is available, so on and so forth. But the idea is that you need to prioritize stuff by urgency and by importancy. So by urgency is what is closest to the deadline. The thing that is closest to the deadline or that is delayed the most is the most urgent stuff. So this is why having a deadline is important. For instance, I have a project, a research and development project, which is all about making a gesture recognition system, just like Okami. If you played Okami, you understand what I'm talking about. I have no idea how to implement one of those systems, but I'm making a research. But this project doesn't have any deadline. It's going to be finished once I have this system on place. So I always push it to the side when something that is more urgent appears. And this is why I never finish this project, because other stuff appears that I have to deliver next week or tomorrow or next month. And since this other project doesn't have any sense of urgency, I just pushing it to the side for a moment. It will probably be finished once I have a project that I want to make that uses this system and I have a deadline on this project. But let's get back here. So on that matter, all that a project is since you have a deliverable, you have some tasks to create this deliverable. And this is what you are going to be primarily managing. Some tasks will be a repetitive process. So for instance, I have many tasks about creating dialogues, creating quests. So for instance, I have the deliverable dialogue, the create earth letter delivery dialogue here, the recipient, the manager, so on and so forth. And these are very repetitive tasks. So once I create one of those, I have some step-by-step process. I have a process with step-by-step actions that once I follow them, I will accomplish this deliverable. So something that you can also create to manage your projects. If I open here, yeah, so I have these projects here, and I have some processes which I didn't linked up, but let's do that right now. So mission, it's on Brazilian Portuguese, but this is create mission. This is a process that I have on my company, which is all about creating quests. So I have a quest system. So let's open this create missions process. So I have here my processes, create missions right here. So let me translate that to you guys. Translate to English. Okay, so in order to create a quest, I have to create a new node 2D, attach a quest node, give it an ID, a title, an objective, a goal, a description. And I use an event player, an event trigger, a dialog trigger, a quest trigger in order to create this quest. To increase the quest progress in order for the player to accomplish it, I create a quest progress node, give it the same ID that I used here, and I can monitor the quest status, so I know when the quest is finished, when the quest just started, when the quest is active or inactive. And if I want to create an impact on the game in the game world, I can use the quest monitor with an event library. So all of these processes use some assets that I have. Namely, I have the quest system, the event system, the dialog system, and the interaction system here. So for instance, if I open, let's get back to my operations here. For instance, I have these tasks, I have these processes, and I have my resources. So I have here the gesture recognizer asset, the map system. So if I click here, I will download this map system. So if I have a task that works with this specific resource, I can already use it. This is what these resources are all about. As you finish up some tasks, you are going to create a byproduct, which is a resource, or it can be the very artifact of the task itself. So let's say I need to create a quest for delivering a letter to an NPC on Saturn. This will be the artifact, right? So this is going to use the quest system, the letter system, the interaction system, and so on and so forth. But one of the tasks that you need to make is create the dialog system, for instance. This is going to have a byproduct that you can reuse to create in other tasks. And by doing that, you are going to document the process of using this system to accomplish this task, so that the next time that you need to create a task that uses this system, you already have all the procedures necessary to create the same artifact that you created with the other task that used this system, that used this resource. And a resource can be anything. So for instance, on my gesture recognition project, I will create the aim of the project will be when I create a log explaining how can we create a gesture recognition a gesture recognition system using Godot engine that I can add new gestures on the go and recognize them, so we can trigger other stuff. So let's say when I draw a fire symbol, it will trigger the fire skill. And this is going to be the deliverable for this project. So you have to have very clear what is your project is about, what is the deliverable, what is the requirement, what is going to be the artifact that you're going to create at the end of this project. Every project is about creating an artifact, be it a game, be it a system, be it a blog post, be it a video, so on and so forth. So this is how I manage my projects I have. So let's make a wrap up now. I have projects, which is a clear definition of the acceptance of a given artifact. So I have requirements and usually a timeline to deliver an artifact. An artifact is anything that you create, basically. And to do that, I have some tasks which are going to follow up some procedures, so some processes. And these processes typically are about how will I use some resources to accomplish these tasks. And that's it. So you have resources, processes, tasks, and projects, and they all build up into your productivity system. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. I have to go to a workshop right now. People are already calling me out here because it's on time already. Don't forget to go to the link in the description to check the Godot Adventure Essentials interactive system class, so you can check out and get a feel about what the course is, how the course is packaged. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep developing, and until the next time, see you there.